some hate it. They won't like my opinion. They say it's overrated. And choose 1 through 10, or it's A to Z. You good on any list, long as it come from me. This is a disclaimer and not a guarantee. My highly rated opinion make perfect sense to me. It's the perfect sense, the perfect sense. My highly rated opinion make perfect sense to me.
Man, oh man, time is getting away from me. Oh, welcome back. Antwan's top 10 list on the perfect sense. I did a video previously that listed out my top 10 accessories for men. And you are here today with me as I'm getting ready to talk about one of those items on that list. Let me introduce myself. I'm Antwan. And an item today we're going to talk about are watches. Brought to you only here on Frisbee TV. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The show is brought to you by and sponsored by Billion Brothers. You have quality, handcrafted leather bags, one for any occasion. I got one myself. So we all know that men accessorize, and accessories don't make the man, but accessories can help you excel, propel, feel a certain way, or the ones we're talking about particularly today can just teach you what time it is. So whether you buy a small piece, whether you buy a simple piece, an expensive piece, a big piece, no matter what it is, these watches all tell the same time. So I want to talk about a few watches that I have in my collection. I want to talk about the style of watch that I like. You know, for older gentlemen, you know, back in the days, you know, they really had the pocket watch, you know, and the pocket watch was real. It told a story. It told who you were, whether it was silver, whether it was gold, whether it was copper, whatever that pocket watch was, and it was handed down as an heirloom, it told a story. Some people would use it for leverage. Oh man, I got this pocket watch right here, you know. So we've all been there, we've all seen stories, we've all talked about it, but now we are the new age gentlemen. There's certain things that you should do when it comes to your watches. You gotta decide whether or not you wanna make a statement with your timepiece, or you just want to be simple. You don't have to spend a lot of money. I've said it before on plenty of shows that you don't have to be in the expensive bracket. You can find something expensive and luxury for a cheaper price. It may not be the cheapest, but you can find it for a better price than full retail. I'm going to go into a couple of the brands that I love to shop with. I'm a functional person. I played sports for a long time. So in the sports racket, you know, you got to have something functional. I broke many of watches, many of bracelets. I have a really big hand, a really big fist, and I have a big wrist. So these views that I'm going to give you today can be used for a man with a smaller feature, or it can be used for a man with bigger features, meaning that he's a little meaty, like me. So one of the first things, G-Shocks. I collect these. At home, I have probably about 20 of these. And they're fairly simple watches, very functional. And it depends on what dial you want. You know, they're made by Casio. You got your your time settings, your alarms, things like that. It's just a functional watch. G-Shock has always been a staple in my arena growing up. I mean, you know, you got kids, you can introduce them to the baby G's, or you know, if your wife wants a baby G, she has a dainty small wrist, or you can get her, you know, the full presentation watch. But I do use these watches a lot of times when I go to my sporting events, or when I'm just being functional. When something is calling for something that's classic, that, you know, still timeless, that I think is durable and it's gonna maintain its value. The one thing about these watches is they have a resale value, whether you like it or not. But make sure you buy something authentic. You gotta authenticate your stuff, because there are a lot of people out here who are They're basically just selling fake watches. It's very inauthentic. It's just a knockoff, and you don't want to get roped into the knockoff realm because you can't sell it. You got to look at the band, look at the quality of everything that it is, look at how it's put together, make sure the light works, make sure your settings work, make sure the button feels good, make sure it's not rubbery. Because that's one thing that I ran into when someone was trying to sell me one of these. It felt really rubbery and non-functional. So if you find one that doesn't feel quality, then you probably should go with your instincts. So we're gonna move right on over to the timepiece that I have on my wrist. And this timepiece right here is just a Lacoste watch. It's something that I have near and dear to me because I love the brand. You know, it's very functional. You can wear it with a belt accessory, the shoes, the shirts, things like that. Everybody knows that little green alligator. But it's a nice timepiece, and luckily it does fit my wrist. So the bigger guys out there, you can actually buy a Lacoste watch and it will fit your wrist. The one that I have is, you know, it's very functional. It's rubber, has Lacoste on it. It's gold and black. So that's one of the watches that I have. Now I have a case here. Every man should have a case for his watches. You should keep your watches put in a nice, you know, area, cool and dry, nothing wet, nothing high heat, just to keep them, you know, safe and sound and hitting from public view. So I want to talk about a brand here that I use a lot. Citizen. I use Citizen watch. Citizen watches range. They have different ranges. I mean, you can find one for 150 bucks on sale, and sometimes all the way up to well over $1,000, depending on what the watch is. But it's a brand that I absolutely love. One of the watches here, it's nothing astronomical, but it's a functional watch. Just has red accents around it, red and white dials. It's very, very simple. This watch is just a plain watch. You do not have to spend a ton of money on watches. This right here was my very first Citizen. This is an Eco Drive. Most of the watches that I have are Eco Drives in the Citizen brand. And the reason I got Eco Drives is because Eco Drives help turn light into battery. It's a power saving mode, but there's also a Bluetooth feature. You can synchronize your watch and your phone. Okay? You can synchronize it. You can set your alarms, your daily routines. You can do all kinds of things with this watch. And to see the phone and the watch synchronize is different. Now, it's not an Inspector Gadget type of situation where the watch has all kind of different features. Not an Apple Watch. It's not none of that. It's something plain and simple. It keeps you in check. You're able to use it for alarms. You're able to use it for alerts. You can set the time. And actually, the thing that I like about the Eco Drives, they preserve battery. So when you're away, when the phone is in the dark for a long period of time, the watch. It's in the dark for a long period of time, the watch will stop spinning. But the moment you pick that watch up and the moment that you actually look at the time or hit the time, that watch sets itself. Especially if it's tied to your phone through the Eco Drive app. It'll know what time it is and it'll know how to get right back to that time just to save energy. So that's another watch. I mean, this is one that's just plain standard stainless. And some of their watches actually come with bracelets. Here, it's a gold watch. This is one my wife got me for our anniversary. And I'll actually try it on because I know a lot of you guys out there, you're gonna need a watch with a good clasp, right? You want one that fits over your wrist. Now I have a really big hand, right? And just to give you a size verification, this is an iPhone, don't worry about that. This is an iPhone 11. That's my hand, okay? I want you to see that. That's my hand. So it's gonna be pretty big, but you don't want something that's overpowering, like saggy and lagging. So you put this watch on, look at that. That feels great. It doesn't hurt, it's not tight, it fits just right. And you can get these adjusted at the jewelry store. Do not let them leave until they adjust it, they add links. I think some of them do come with extra links. It's got the word Citizen at the bottom. Beautiful clasp. You can take it right off. It's a beautiful thing. I love these watches. I am also into a few other watches that I do not have here with me today. I'm just talking about some of my favorite ones. This is a classic, black, white, and silver. I like these watches, and all these are eco drives except for the functional one. And this is just a plain office watch. Something really, really nice. This is a Citizen's Quartz. So if you like quartz watches, something just plain and simple. It has the 3 different dials on it. It's just plain and simple. This one is not eco drive, and it will not stop ticking. It will just go. It's just simple and plain. Something nice that you can wear with maybe a suit or something dressed down. But when you're choosing your watches, make sure you get your combinations right and you get your accents right. And what I mean by combination, I mean like your color code. Like, so if you like silver and gold, if you like gold and blue, blue and gray, make sure that you get that, according to your style or how you want to dress. So the last watch I'm going to talk about today is actually a Boulevard watch. This is a Grammy Series watch. The make of this watch is really, really classy. This is a special edition. Like I said, it's a Grammy Series, but look at the clasp on that watch. You actually unhook, come down to the notches you want to get into, and then you hook each side back in one by one. Let me raise that. One by one to fit on your wrist. And then you put these keepers in place. This is the Grammy Series skeleton watch, okay? This watch has a high retail, but this watch to me is made wonderfully and masterfully. The dial here has a little Grammy award on it, and this is a guitar series, so it has little guitar picks and the guitar notes around the actual watch. So this is a watch, skeleton, like I said, so you don't need a battery for this. And all of these watches that are eco drive are battery savers, so you won't need to replace the battery often. You can probably go at least 10 years before you have to do anything to it. This watch may get retuned in 10 years, but this is just a simple wind up. You wind this watch up, and then when everything starts to move in the background, it keeps that time for you. Now, over time, if you use these watches a lot with the skeleton feature, they lose a little bit. They start to lag, so you have to go and get them tuned every 10 years or so. So they also hold their value. But these are a few things that I keep near and dear to me. It's a few of my accessories. All right, and I'm actually, you know what? And I'm talking about it. I want you guys to stay blessed, be less stressed, and let God do the rest. You put this watch on. I'm gonna get out of here. All right, have a good one.
Sound of this beat is so profound to me. It's so soulfully sold, so undoubtedly. He gave me the shoulders to put the world on him. Yeah, my kids on this rock, man, so I can hold them. God gave me these eyes so I can see the vision. Equip me with all the right tools so I can win it. Keep fasting and praying. Now that's the key. Put your feet in the sand and take a walk with me. Highly blessed and highly favored, and some hate it. They won't like my opinion. They say it's overrated. And choose 1 through 10, or it's A to Z. You good on any list, long as it come from me. This is a disclaimer and not a guarantee. My highly rated opinion make perfect sense to me. It's the perfect sense, the perfect sense. My highly rated opinion make perfect sense to me.